So this is part 3 of section 6.2, trigonometry of right triangles. And this is about solving right triangles. And when the directions say to solve right triangles, it means to find all sides and angles. Okay, and in this section, we'll be given one angle and one side. So let's look at the first example. So in this example, we're given a 30-degree angle, and then we're given the hypotenuse, and then sides are marked A and B. This section, we're going to want to use a calculator. Okay, and given the angle, we want to set up a trig ratio that uses this 12. Okay, so we've got SOHCAHTOA. We know that we have the hypotenuse, so we want to use sine or cosine to write equations. So I'm going to start by writing an equation with the sine of 30 degrees is equal to the opposite side, which in this case is A, over the hypotenuse, which is 12. And then I want to solve for A, so multiply both sides by 12. Okay, and in my calculator, I'm going to type 12 sine 30, and I'm going to make sure that my calculator is in degrees. So you want to go to mode and make sure you're in degrees. All right, and if I type 12 sine 30 into my calculator, I find that A is 6. And then I want to write an equation that uses B, so I can find out what B is. And so I want to use cosine this time, so the cosine of 30 is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Again, multiply both sides by 12, and 12 times the cosine of 30 is about 10.4. Okay, so I have all three sides. I have one angle, and then the only angle I'm missing is angle B. Okay, and angle B is going to be 60 degrees because this is 90 and this is 30, and therefore angle B is 60. Okay, and we've solved the triangle. We found all three sides. That side's 6 and that side's 10.4. All right, let's look at one more where we're not given the hypotenuse, where we're given the adjacent side instead. Okay, so we want to look at SOHCAHTOA. Okay, we know that for the angle 35, we know the adjacent sides. We either want to use cosine or tangent. Those both use the adjacent side. So I'm going to start by writing an equation with cosine. So the cosine of 35 is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So we'll call that H. Okay, so adjacent over hypotenuse. And it's just a little more work when the variable's in the denominator. So I would multiply both sides by H. Okay, so we get H cosine 35 equals 8, and then divide by the cosine of 35. You can also sort of remember that this is equal to this function divided by this if you want. A lot of these problems you're going to be doing are similar. So I just want to type my calculator 8 divided by the cosine of 35, and I find that H is about 9.8. Okay, so we found this side. Now I want to use tangent so I can find the opposite side. So the tangent of 35 is equal to the opposite side. I'm not going to use O. Let's call that B. B over 8. Okay. And multiply both sides by 8. So 8 times The tangent of 35 equals b. So I'll put that in my calculator. 8 tangent 35 gives me about 5.6. Okay, so I know this side is about 5.6. And then I just need that missing angle. So if this is 90, this is 35, that means this angle has to be 55 degrees. And we have solved the triangle.